I saw this a couple days ago, but I thought that originally it was coming with today's patch 9.08, but it's actually coming with patch 9.10 alongside the Phoenix Miner rework, where his wall can go through, it looks like, other walls, and his signature ability being the flash with a recharge. Furthermore, we saw here at the bottom 175 HP at the start of this clip. You'll be able to notice it, and it actually states at the top first it starts with agent changes. People thought this was Phoenix specific, but after they show off the Phoenix changes, it switches over to new type of shield, regen shield. Now, I started speculating on this a little bit. We don't have much info, but still, it doesn't change the fact that technically speaking, right at the start, Phoenix has 175 available HP. The way it works though is actually pretty clear during this slow part when we zoom in. Essentially, when the 25 shield disappears, the regen shield kicks in from the bottom, refilling the primary shield at the top. So for example, we have 25 shields plus 50 shield storage. Phoenix loses their shield, and then we see the 50 kick in, and at the very last frame, we see that out of the 50 stored, 25 is now an active shield, and 25 is in that regen at the bottom, like the tank, I guess, at the bottom. Now, this is actually massive, because the first instinct I had, and most people had, is it's something to do with an overheal change, because Phoenix and healing, but I don't think that's what it is. It seems like the healing is still separate at the top. He was being healed by the wall. His HP is also going up, but it throws you off. It's nothing to do with the shield. He's healing by the wall on the right at the standard rate of which the wall heals. So that's cleared up. This is simply just a shield separated from the Phoenix changes. It just got jumbled together. Okay, I don't want to keep replaying the exact same footage, so let's speculate further. Again, what I thought, it was something to do with the heal. Like I thought, for example, let's say Sage buys heavy shield and has 50, and then she self heals right at the start of the round. I thought it would add 25. That's regenable, but still, that's not making sense. So what is going on? New regen shield. Is this a third slot in the buy menu in which you have light shield, heavy shield, and regen shield, where you're basically accepting only having 25 available shield, but you get 50 in storage? It overall costs more, but you're more prone to, for example, getting head tapped by a phantom from very far away. Is that what we're going for here? Or is this a replacement of heavy shield, where now you either buy light shield where you have 25, or you buy 25 plus the additional 50 in the back storage? I don't think it's that one. I don't think it's a rework to the current heavy shield, because that would just make the phantom overpowered. Like, they would have to be showing entire gun changes at that point. I still think you have the option to have 150 available at any moment, the 50 shield, 100 HP, but maybe this is a third type of shield that you can buy. That, or the other thing I thought about was, what if you can buy, for example, you buy heavy shields, and then in the next round, you buy another heavy shield, and it kind of goes into storage, but you can only cap at 175 total. So for example, let's say I buy light shield and I take 0 damage that round. The next round I buy heavy shield and it goes into the regen storage. My thoughts on this is, like, let's say you take some damage. We know this happens all the time. For example, you finish the round with 83 HP and, I don't know, 38 shields. In the following round, instead of just refilling a full heavy shield, you can buy 25, which will refill to 50 instead of bringing it down to 25 like it does today, and then put the additional in storage. That's kind of making sense to me. I'm wondering if it's just a new system. There's light and heavy. Any additional shield that is bought by your money goes into storage up to 50 total. That's what I thought. The only problem I'm having with that is they only show 25 being actively used. So if that's the case, then this would become a rework, like I originally said, where you can only have 25 shield max, but that changes Valorant completely. That's not even the same. All the guns and their damage and everything, the time to kill, like, nothing will be the same again. So I don't know if I'm want to lean that way. In my head, it kind of makes sense. Additional shield goes into storage. But then we're still seeing that the upfront active shield is only 25. Like, the regen goes into the 25 after. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to sort of think or speculate as I'm commentating. And the more I do, the more I'm running into walls. That's the thing about something this huge. I think no matter what, though, we can't get around the fact that this is clearly leaning towards being meta changing, right? This has to change the game a ton. This is like when they added 50 credits, like the half credits into the game. It still changed a lot of the economy for Valorant. This is like when credits used to be what, 12,000 cap, then they brought it down to 9,000. Like, it still seems to be this substantial. To a lot of people, this might seem like a lot, or maybe I'm overplaying how substantial it'll be, but then the one thing that happened is Riot did come out and say themselves that we're more comfortable making meta changing and drastic changes to the game near the end of the year, because of course this gives a lot of time for the pros to adapt to Valorant's changes before the next season of pro play. So I really wouldn't put it past Riot to make these crazy changes. As of right now, 9.08 was pretty substantial, but not hyped up. Like, Gecko got massive changes. Like, the agent changes are still substantial. Sunset is reworked substantially, obviously. And then the map rotations changed. And it felt like it went under the radar. I barely saw creators talk about it. Am I crazy to say that for some reason big updates happened and it's very quiet out in the YouTube space and commentary space? And then I tried to search about this heavy shield. I saw Conga Valorant just mention it. He's the only one I saw cover it, and he just did a quick video just showcasing what happened, what he saw. And then I saw no one discuss it. Like, what is happening? Not even on Twitter. So it kind of threw me for a loop, and I just had to get on this and speculate a bit because it was weird not being able to find anyone say anything. Now, one thing we know for certain is patch 9.10 is coming out with this act. So this isn't some crazy episode 10 change, because it was part of the Valorant video called Just One More, episode 9 act 3 trailer. So everything here is still coming out in this act. They just didn't roll it out in one big patch. They did this first patch, which was substantial, but that's 9.08. I assume 9.09 is in a couple weeks, which will probably just touch up on any bugs or other things that they realized went wrong in patch 9.08. Then I bet you it'll also come out with a filler bundle. Then in 9.10 will be a couple weeks after that, closer to the half or second half of this act, and it'll come alongside the next premium bundle as well as these major changes. So they basically set themselves up for the remaining, they basically set themselves up for majority of the rest of this year, and that's how it usually goes, because when the holidays come around, Riot usually say this is the last major change. So I think 9.10 will be the last major change, and they say they go on holiday. That's pretty much what happens every year, and then we sort of get a pretty big drought through January into the next episode. Episode 10 is the first double-digit episode, so I also assume there's gonna be some big changes then, but it comes at the beginning of the year where they're more hesitant to make big changes. So yeah, things are a little bit different. This is also the very first episode where we rolled out all the updates on the new patch style, which made it harder to understand what's happening. I basically delivered the skins in-game client a day before they were in the shop and the battle pass section, which ended up being today. But then also Riot released a trailer for the whole act, but everything they released in the trailer isn't even in the game. But it makes it seem like if you open the trailer and you watch it, you're like, okay, all these new things are in Valorant. You update your game. I'm in episode 9 act 3, but not everything they displayed is even in the act yet. So I don't know. The way they updated and released and even showcased this act was super weird. Maybe that's why there's not much content. No one really knew what was going on. Either way, it is what it is. These are what's happening. The new shield seems like it'll change Valorant substantially, and I'm always up to shake the meta. I've always supported it, and I think it's a fun way to keep the game fresh. I can't wait to see what it really is about.